Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. Let's talk about these hidden assets, this hidden income in divorce. Now, for most of you, the thing that's going to be hidden are hidden debts. Oh my God, I did not know you opened up that credit card. How much did you spend on it? Most of the time, there isn't hidden income. Although, hey, it's possible. So let's talk about some ideas around what to look for. I'm not an attorney. I cannot and should not give you legal advice, nor am I a financial professional. I cannot and should not give you financial advice. But let's look through these and know that you might need legal advice. You might need financial advice. So just be prepared for that, okay? So there can be hidden assets. That's what we want. We want them assets. We don't want them debts. There could be hidden assets related to your marriage, to the community that you didn't know. And you may have the mindset of, I know they're hidden. I know that they have some money somewhere else. I really don't care. I just want to be done. That's cool. That's an informed decision. But you know what's a better informed decision? To know exactly how much is there, exactly what belongs to the community that could be split, and then going, I still don't want it. I'd rather cut ties. That is more informed and a better decision-making process. Because knowing how much is there might change your mind. So it's good to be informed, but you have to weigh the risk. You know what's most important to you. Some ways that this can be hidden is maybe there's another bank account. Maybe you find an extra receipt from a bank that you don't normally bank at. Maybe something gets misdelivered to your house instead of the office, and you're like, hey, what's this? That's a little God wink, like you need to know about this. Okay? Maybe they've started transferring some of assets that belong to you guys to their family or to their friends without your consent. That's a red flag. What happens sometimes is people try to undervalue the things you know about. Oh yeah, that's just an empty lot. That's not worth anything. Oh, yeah, no, like I think I'm underwater on that piece of land. No, I owe on that. It's not, I couldn't sell it for anything. They're undervaluing assets. You should ask a realtor for some comps in the area so you can get an idea of what the value actually could be, should be. Maybe there's some concealed business interest or investments. Now, you might be like, girl, it's concealed. That means I can't see it. Yeah, but remember when things were good in your marriage and they talked a lot? Okay, so you know something's there because it's very unlikely that they were a total vault in your marriage and didn't let anything slip about these extra things. So try to remember those conversations. It's likely that there's something else there. So you want to look at the bank accounts. Look at the credit card statements of, well, that's a lot of spending. Look at your tax returns. Like, well, I've had people say, I don't have access to the tax returns. He filed it jointly without me. If he or she, don't mean to pick genders, it's usually though the woman who claims she doesn't have access. So that's why I picked that. But if your name and social security number are on that document, and it was filed jointly, you have access to it. The IRS will give you access to it. They're your tax returns. You don't have to go to the tax professional who did it. You can go straight to the people who are taking your money. So you do have access. You can get a copy because it belongs to you too. Do you have access to their business financials? Take a look at that. Are there retirement account statements that come in the mail? It might have their name on it, but that retirement, at least a portion of it, is community property. Your red flags are inconsistencies. What are the inconsistencies? Maybe on paper they don't bring home a lot of money, but they sure do spend a lot. Maybe their taxes, they're reporting a low amount of income, but the bank account's not matching that. These are inconsistencies. And you know what? Your gut knows. Your intuition knows that something is off. It is very hard to undo a divorce decree unless there is some level of fraud. In your situation, if you sign away and then find out that they've been hiding stuff, yeah, that's fraud. You probably could come back and have a judge make a decision and reallocate the assets. But that might be really challenging. So listen to your gut and then decide what you want to do. Look for a strange amount of withdrawals. It could be that like, wow, there's a lot of cash withdrawals, or why are they always at this place? Now, these are also red flags if you think your spouse is having an affair. They're gone for long periods of time. It's, large withdrawals from the grocery store, but they're not doing grocery shopping, or a coffee shop, and it doesn't quite add up. Where did all your money go? They're probably, paying for something and then also withdrawing cash. And so the money is disappearing, but it's kind of trickling out. And so it's a little bit harder to spot. It could be that they're just like rolling in the dough. You're separated, but the next thing you know, they're in Paris, or they're in Hawaii, or the Maldives. They're in Switzerland. They're in someplace way more expensive that they could afford, that you guys could ever afford in your marriage. And yet suddenly they are there. They'll explain it away, but it just, your intuition goes, this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel right. Maybe they've got like these beautiful purses that are very expensive, and you know that they used to shop at the alley down in downtown Los Angeles, and now they're shopping on Rodeo Drive. That is a huge inconsistency. Basically, things don't line up. On paper, life is this way. In reality, life is this way. They're not lining up. They're not matching. So where's this extra money coming from? Of course, I'd be like, are you dealing drugs? Okay, I probably watched too much TV. Okay, so if there's a business situation, maybe they're just self-employed, they're not officially like a corporation, that's kind of a way that they might be hiding money or undervaluing things, because they can kind of control what they do and don't report. There's a little more wiggle room with that. So that is something to be looking at. And as part of the divorce, you should be looking at those taxes. You should be looking at that Schedule C at their profit and loss statement to see where the numbers lie. You're going to need that for support and child support. Maybe they have hidden accounts. That's possible, but they're hidden. If you suspect they have hidden accounts, you're going to need somebody who's an expert in uncovering those things. Mediation is not the place for that. Mediation, there's no discovery in mediation. Okay, you can start there, and as you discover, hey, they're being untruthful about these assets, we have to leave mediation. I need to go get a forensic accountant. Then do that. Remember, you can agree on some things in mediation, but not all things. That's okay. It's not an all or nothing game. It's not a zero-sum game. Great, we can agree on what we're going to do with the kids and the cats and anything else, but not the financials. We need to dig a little deeper on that. So if lots of assets are being transferred, especially if you were the person in the dark in the marriage and you didn't know how the money was run, you're going to need some time to catch up to speed. And it's not uncommon for someone who is hiding something to try to rush you through the process. You ain't got to be rushed through this process. You can take your own sweet time. What do you do? Well, one, you ask them about it. Maybe they forgot. They didn't forget all them things. I've been in mediations where someone has forgotten to put something on their disclosures, and the spouse brings it up. It's usually one thing they forgot. It's not a myriad of things. That usually can get resolved right then and there. it's an honest mistake, or they were trying to get one by their spouse, but they didn't. And so it got divided, or it got addressed, or a decision was made about what to do about it. But if there's a list of things, then yeah, you're going to need to hire a forensic accountant. And if you are at the point where you need to hire a forensic accountant, then you need to hire an attorney, probably. You will probably need some legal guidance. If someone is so savvy in their finances that you can't find things, that you can't see things, and you've had to hire a forensic accountant, then I also need you to consider hiring a legal expert to help you navigate this. Like I said, they don't have to address all of the issues. Hey, you know what, Mr. Attorney, Miss Attorney, we figured out all of these things. We figured out the cats and the kids in mediation. The money, the cash, we ain't got that figured out. This needs to happen. This is where I need your help before we can finalize this divorce. That's why you need an attorney, so they can help you in this. And they can also help you go, we've done all this work. This is what your spouse is doing. What do you want to do? Here's my legal advice on what you should do. You should do this. You should do that. Okay? And an attorney is going to give you legal advice, and then you get to decide what you will do with it going forward. But as much as I want you to handle things out of court and as amicably as possible, it's not always possible in every situation. And there's no shame in that. You need to protect your interests because you can't undo this. I cannot having you and your cats living off your cat food when you get old because you didn't take care of stuff in the divorce. And your spouse is living like royalty because they hid things. All right, I know this is extreme. And I'm not trying to scare you. The vast majority of people, this isn't really an issue. But if your gut is telling you something is off, and you are looking at the statements that you have access to, and you're looking in the mail, you've completed your financial disclosures, and so did your spouse, and there's account statements that they didn't give you, then I want you to think we might need to escalate this a little bit. We might need to bring in other professionals. You will be happy you did. It might not be pleasant at first because what you're doing is you're digging things up. Whenever you dig something up, it's messy until you put everything back together in its right place. But it's worth it. It can be worth it. So at the end of your divorce, years down the road, you can look back on this time with no regret of, man, I should have gone after that. I should have looked. I should have investigated. Okay? Now, if you choose not to do that, then you can look back on your life and go, hey, oh, that was not worth my time. I'm glad I didn't do that. But you need to know. Check your gut. You're going to turn out okay. If you need help, if you suspect that your spouse is hiding assets and you need a financial professional to help you with that, please reach out to me. I can help connect you with people. Have a good day. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through this and you are going to thrive.